Pokémon Horizons just dropped one of the most insane twists in Pokémon anime history, and fans genuinely don't know what to believe right now. At the end of today's episode, the preview trailer announced that we've officially reached the final showdown of Pokémon Horizons. Our heroes are going to Larkwa to erase the Larkworm and defeat the Explorers and Spinel, and this final climax is what the whole show has been building up to for 3 years. The preview trailer makes it clear this is the end, but fans have been left wondering what the heck happens next then. If the main story of Horizons ends in April, then what will the anime do for the next year while we wait for the Generation 10 games and the Generation 10 anime? This has been the big question on everyone's minds, and it seems we could finally have an answer. Because after that preview trailer, an announcement dropped stating that new information about the future of Horizons will be announced on April the 17th. And man, you will not believe what this was accompanied with. We got a teaser for that announcement showing Captain Pikachu in the spotlight, but then Captain Pikachu begins to glow. At first, I thought maybe he was evolving into Raichu to set up Mega Raichu appearing, but nope, Captain Pikachu isn't glowing up. He's glowing down, dude. He's melting down. He transforms into a Ditto. Oh my god. Dude, I actually can't believe it. The fanbase absolutely exploded when this was revealed. Was Captain Pikachu really a Ditto all along? Dude, that's what the teaser seems like. And that would be one of the biggest, most unexpected twists in Pokemon anime history. It would totally reframe so much about Captain Pikachu. It'd be such a bold swing from the writers that no one saw coming. And that's what most of the fanbase have taken this teaser to mean. But for me, in terms of Captain Pikachu possibly being a Ditto all along, I would love to believe it. Trust me, I am the guy who would believe stuff like this. After all, I'm literally the one who created that huge theory in Pokemon Journeys that Chloe's Eevee was secretly Mew transformed all along. That was my theory, I started that, dude. So the idea of Captain Pikachu secretly being a Ditto for the past 3 years, I would go crazy for that, man. I'd low-key take a bit of credit, maybe the writers were inspired by my Mew video, who knows? I'm just kidding. But for me, Captain Pikachu being a Ditto just isn't something that I can buy. I have a lot of reasons not to believe it, let me explain. First of all, we've seen Captain Pikachu being knocked out in battles, and even when he was unconscious, he stayed as Captain Pikachu. If he was secretly a Ditto, then surely he'd transform back to being a Ditto when he's unconscious. That's how Ditto has always worked in this franchise. So I don't think he's secretly a Ditto. On top of that, the teaser showed Captain Pikachu's hat and goggles both vanishing when he transforms into Ditto, but that would mean his hat and goggles aren't real, that they're a part of Ditto, a part of Ditto's transformation. And that makes absolutely zero sense, man, because we already know Captain Pikachu's hat and goggles are real. The goggles were given to him by Friede, we saw it happen, and Cap has taken his hat off several times in the past. So they are physical items, they're not just a part of a Ditto's body. So for that reason, the teaser showing Ditto transforming into Captain Pikachu, it can't be the Captain Pikachu we know. It wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. So yeah, for that reason, I think Captain Pikachu secretly being a Ditto all along, I think that's a total misdirect from the writers. They want us to believe that, so then we don't expect what's actually coming. I think what we're seeing here isn't the real Captain Pikachu that we know. I think it's a random new Ditto who has seen Captain Pikachu and transformed into him. Maybe a Ditto who joins the main cast. And I think the reason they're showing this now is to tie into the big information announcement on April the 17th, like they said, because I think that announcement is going to be all about Ditto. I also quickly want to say some people have theorised that maybe Spinel could have an army of Dittos and they could transform into all the Rising Volt Tacklers, making their battle way harder to win because they don't know who to trust, they don't know who the imposters are among them, sabotaging them, and that definitely sounds like something Spinel would do, but I don't think this is the case either. I think the new announcement on April the 17th and the Ditto teaser are both about the next arc of Horizons, after the final showdown is over. We know they have like a whole year to fill before the Gen 10 games and the Gen 10 anime release, but what else does Pokemon even have going on for the next year that they could possibly show in the anime? Well, there's one big thing, man. After all, what game is absolutely on top of the world right now? What game is seeing unfathomable amounts of success as we speak? What game is literally getting the highest ratings of any Pokemon game ever? You've got it, dude. The newly released Pokopia. Is it Pokopia or Pokopia? I have no idea. I say Pokopia, so I'm going with that. The entire premise of Pokopia is about a Ditto. It's more of like a cozy, feel-good, wholesome game, like a spiritual combination of Minecraft, Animal Crossing, Viva Pinata. It's really not a typical Pokemon game. It is so peak though, dude. So yeah, with Pokopia releasing recently, and it being a massive worldwide success, I think this teaser for the future of the anime showcasing a Ditto, I think it could be teasing that a Pokopia arc could be coming. A whole story arc based around Ditto and Pokopia. After all, the anime often promotes the new games, like it did with BDSP, Legends Arceus, Legends ZA, even some of the spin-off games like Pokemon Ranger got anime adaptations too. And with Pokopia being the biggest Pokemon spin-off game of all time, they could be wanting to promote Pokopia in Pokemon Horizons. I wouldn't expect like a one-to-one direct adaptation of Pokopia, since that game is post-apocalyptic and set hundreds of years in the future with all the humans dead, and I really don't think they would want to imply that the whole cast of Horizons are dead. But they can still promote and advertise and tie into Pokopia without that post-apocalyptic vibe. Of course, the easiest way would be through a Ditto joining the main cast of Pokemon Horizons, with that Ditto being one of the main focuses in the next story arc. It could do all of the things and shenanigans that Ditto does in Pokopia, showcase all of its abilities and everything. And even without the post-apocalypse stuff, Horizons could promote the vibes and the feel and the aspects of Pokopia, even if it's not a full direct adaptation. Think about it, after the absolute chaos and high stakes and seriousness of the Explorers arc for the past 3 years, wouldn't it be great for the final year of Horizons to be way more chill and relaxing and joyful and cozy? Kind of like a slice of life vibe like Pokopia is. Our heroes enjoying their life with their new Ditto, relaxing, meeting new Pokemon, building homes, enjoying everything. That would be such a nice switch up after the war against the Explorers and Spinel is over. Pokemon isn't just about the high stakes battles after all, it's also about the world itself, about the Pokemon themselves. So a Pokopia style arc could be so great for the end of Horizons. We can really slow things down and root ourselves in the deeper, slower character moments. A more wholesome setting, you know? I mean, it could also be possible that somehow the battle at Larkwa goes completely wrong, and the Larkwium wipes out mankind and brings us the apocalypse, and then we could actually get a real post-apocalyptic, no-humans Pokopia arc. That would be absolutely insane, but I don't think even the Pokemon Horizons writers would have the bravery to do that. So I think we're gonna get a Pokopia-inspired arc focused way more on slice-of-life, chill, wholesome vibes, with a Ditto joining the main cast and bringing the Pokopia aspects. That would be peak, man. Let me know what you think is going to be below. Do you think Captain Pikachu is secretly a Ditto, or do you think a Pokopia-inspired arc is more likely like I do? I guess we'll find out the truth of what's to come in the future on April the 17th. Oh yeah, just a quick note, I've actually been streaming Pokopia almost every day on Twitch, so if you don't have the game or haven't experienced the game and want to see what Pokopia is all about, then be sure to drop me a follow on Twitch using the link on screen and the link in the description. Come watch me play Pokopia and chat with me, it'll be fun, dude. I will make my episode 132 review video as soon as I can, but unfortunately life is just a bit rough and chaotic and busy right now on a personal level, so it might take me a little longer than normal. Maybe if it's not out tomorrow it might be Sunday or maybe even Monday. I hope not, but it's possible. I really appreciate the patience though, man. Thank you so much to all of the millions and trillions of channel members zooming down the screen right now, and of course a massive thank you to the Ferlax fam, the Ferlax fanatics like Toten, Juscadia, Not Mini, Hope, Shareborn, Jay, Finny, Pokesan, Shiny. And on that note, thank you all so much for watching and best wishes until we meet again!